All right, it's Fighter Cows here as always with a rare, special live Ikaricast. It's been a rough week for me and Jeff, and we didn't feel like playing DMC because we need a break. We got our butts kicked by this heat. So right now we're gonna have an Ikaricast with 16-bit Jeff, like I said over there. Say hi.
What's up?
The one streaming and the one I believe. Is your camera on? The one you see is Double RPG. And today we're going to be talking about a couple things. Batman, number 50. Double R brought up studio. Which studio was it?
Oh, yeah.
And the Gundam live-action movie. And I think, knowing me, I'll sneak in some Jojo.
Oh, of course. Let's say before we start, I find it funny that the announcements that we got currently from Anime Expo, way more excited than anything that was announced or shown at this year's E3.
I know, right? How sad is that?
But yet, Sony always wins, right, guys? Hey, Star
when you've got Neil... You got people like Neil Druckmann in there. You got people who literally, that might as well be his name. I mean, he's literally one of those types. You know the types. I mean, he admitted this on Twitter.
Yeah.
He admitted this on. We're not making up stuff about him. He admitted this on Twitter.
See, my problem with Neil is that I don't mind people having a personal agenda if they can do a good job with it and not shove it down people's throats.
Yeah.
Whereas with Druckmann, he likes to shove his ideology down people's throats. You know what I mean?
He's ham-fisted, yeah.
You know, but you know what really saddens me? It's nothing to do with Nine Dog or the trailer that we saw at E3 last month for The Last of Us Part 2. It was the publications, particularly Kotaku and more importantly Polygon, that were champions saying, "Oh, this kissing scene is revolutionary." No, it's not.
There's been lesbian kisses in games before.
You want to know if it was... Here's the thing. Here's the difference. You want to know how it would have been revolutionary? If a scene like this happened on a video game or a TV show or a movie 20 years ago. Or hell, 30 years ago.
I got it on my phone now, the chat. All right, so we got that out of the way. Jeff, I might as well give the floor to you on this particular thing, because I only know so much about it. It's Batman.
Speaking of BS, and this has come from someone who's not the biggest fan of Batman.
Actually, let me set the floor up. Sorry.
Yes.
I apologize. I should let our viewers.
Oh, dude. Right.
Batman number 50 came out.
Yep.
Has a certain twist ending. A twist. What a twist! That kind of twist ending, not a good twist ending. What a twist ending. Shyamalan level twist ending.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure you know. Tom King is just M. Night Shyamalan.
Yep.
Anyways, so this caused an uproar, rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think. And what else about him? Oh, I even saw one of my friends. I believe you know her. She used to be called Comic Book Girl. Now she's just going by her real name, Blake Northcott. She even tweeted about it. She said, and she's like, "This is just a dumb twist." she's like, I don't care what your politics are. It's just a dumb twist. It has nothing to do with that. It's just not good writing.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jeff. Now floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And it's to the point that due to the twist and surpriser, the wedding between Batman and Catwoman does not happen this issue. But that's the thing, I hate when people expect that not to happen when it does. The exact thing does happen. When in fact, with Okay, out of this group, myself and Jerry are vastly knowledgeable in regards to comics. Now, I'm not saying that Kyle isn't. He does have knowledge, but it's more of a casual reader, right? Okay. Yeah, you're more reading of the big two. Yeah, exactly. But to paint a broader picture, Kyle, with you being more of a reader in regards to manga and a viewer of anime, where you and myself and Jerry would say that one of the things that we hate the most about those two mediums are how people in those set groups love to ship certain characters for particular reasons, and it devalues the content.
Everything
The
is
same could be said about comics, but the complete and utter opposite. That myself and Jared, who has been reading comics for years, want to see characters, specifically like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, to evolve and age. And there's just one big thing, and particularly it's been known from both current DC head Danny Didio, and it's been documented as well by former head of Marvel Comics, Joe Quesada, that you can't age a character because once that character ages, then the youth don't care about comics anymore.
You know,
Right, right, right. But I'm bringing this. I'm starting this just for context, because what happens is this issue was lambasted for a year, saying, "Hey guys, this is the big moment you've been waiting for. We're going to be pushing down this through your throats to let you know that this Wayne's actually going to happen." To the point they're letting freaking the LCSs, the local comic shops, that they're going to do a midnight show, the midnight opening for this issue's release. That they're going to do all this stuff, and come to find out, this crap doesn't happen.
Star Child says Kyle's audio is.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah,
That can't be right. That cannot be right.
That's weird.
it is.
Because I'm using
you
my
can hear-
I'm using my webcam mic, so that way it syncs up to my webcam. But
Could be muted by any chance.
oh, never mind. Star Child says it's working now. No, it's not
Okay.
muted.
Oh, it's working now. Okay,
Good.
it's working now. Lol.
That's what I was
Okay.
asking. But yeah.
So, you were talking about certain wedding that didn't happen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't happen because where DC lied to its consumers as well as the comic shops that provided this issue with.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want this to happen because they believe in that ideology that I was talking about earlier, which I know is a huge fallacy because of two things. One, not only in the past, before the New 52, Superman was married to Lois Lane, after the whole debacle that was the death of the Eternal Superman.
Uh-huh.
But more importantly, number two, how can a marriage age a character when said character has had around 4 or 5 adopted children that he lets go out and be soldiers for his war?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See the hypocrisy, right?
You know what people say that you can't age them. Same thing in manga. They say that too. And you know who proved it wrong, right?
Who?
Toriyama.
Yeah.
'Cause they told him you can't age Goku. And then said, watch me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make, and bam, he made him an adult. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like that's apparent, and that's still a thing. Like apparently Toriyama's the only one who's gotten away with it so far. They won't let nobody else do it, even though he's proven that it's okay to age them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I mean,
that's right.
It's going on for 30 years.
and
It's
the funny
obvious.
and the funny thing is too is that they're I mean, even the gaps between ages is very apparent.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with Persona. Persona 2 is still the only one that has adults. You can't age them. Kids won't. It won't relate to the teens. Really?
Really, that's
You know,
bullshit.
Persona 2 did just fine last time I checked.
It doesn't matter what their age. If we just write relatable characters and a good story, that's the thing that sure matters. How many times have you, I, and Kyle, or even as a group, have talked about this? We've talked about this throughout the years, and yet we still get this whole cookie cutter bullcrap that we've been having for what? Last 10 years? Last 15? Hell, we can go longer and say that's right?
Oh, I don't know, since history, basically.
Yeah.
And you know, this type of thing with what Batman 50, what it did, how DC pretty much lied to its consumers. It kind of reminds me back in 1972, even though we weren't alive yet, but that big storyline in the Spider-Man comic, you know, the night when Gwen Stacy died, and the reason why they killed off her character.
Oh yeah. I agree with you, but to add to something that's more contextual and makes more sense on the spectrum of DC, this reminds me of the bull crap that Dan DiDio, fun enough, the same person, pulled right near the start of the New 52. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole big controversy that happened with Batwoman.
Yeah, that's what I thought that's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, heroes can't be happy.
No, more specifically, a hero who's openly gay cannot be married. It's like, what?
What?
I didn't know he said that part. I thought he just said heroes in general.
No, he said heroes in general, but the way his wording was, he alluded to like, oh yeah, we can't marry him.
Well, I'm just saying what he said.
No, I know, but it's just like the way I remember like reading. It's just like the way his wording was alluded, like the way it was typed, whatever.
You can't.
But it's here or there. But it's just that reminds me a lot about the crap. That's just like it doesn't matter like if it's a single. Let me phrase that: a straight couple or someone who falls in the LGBTQ community. It's stupid when politics like that happen. Because let's be blunt, this is politics.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is.
But that's not the main thing we're talking about. Because yeah, we expected this crap to happen, though we wish it didn't happen to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
There's some bigger fish to freaking fry in this issue. That's even worse than the prenuptials between Batman and Catwoman not going through. You guys know which final.
Oh yeah, that final panel in that issue. Yep. Oh my god.
Hey, I heard you like Venom, Jeff.
I like Bane. He's my favorite Batman villain.
Yeah, but
How in the hell can you pull that with a plethora of groups of characters in one group and have the most stupidest plan ever? Like, this is stupider than something that the Joker would come up. Like, I mean, think about it. He doesn't want Batman or Catwoman to marry because the thought of him being happy would kill off Batman? I hate to break it to you.
Somehow.
You just broke his heart. We're going to see a worse Batman and probably an even darker and brooding one. You know,
exactly.
Probably even worse than New 52 Batman.
Yeah. Oh man, you'll be crazy. I can see Tom King pulling this too.
What?
Like you said about him being darker and more brutal. All of a sudden, this Batman, because he's heartbroken, goes back to not killing joke Batman. Further back to his origins.
Oh, the one he actually kills?
Where he kills and brags about it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
All of a sudden, Tom King's like, I'm bringing that Batman back.
Dude, don't even joke about that. I have a feeling he's going to.
That's what I'm saying. He probably is.
Oh,
right?
God, yes.
You guys saw what's happening in issue 52, right?
What?
He's reverting back to his old costume before the Rebirth costume that was designed by Scott Snyder.
Oh. Yeah, the new 52 look, basically.
Which wasn't a bad design, but I think you're right on the money, Jerry. That's the scary thing.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
what I thought of.
I really think you have it right on the nose, and that is the most scary, most terrifying thing about it. You know what the staffing is, guys?
It actually happened. Yeah.
I actually liked his one at the beginning.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Like, I wasn't the biggest fan, but there were some damn good arcs. Like I Am Bane, I Am Gotham. They had some good stories, but why would you do something this stupid at the midpoint of your supposed 100-issue story? This is like usually endgame stuff, not like the midpoint of the early beginning point. You know what I mean?
I hate to use such a term, but he blew his load.
This idea is so flawed because I forget which publication it was, but it was a site that said that basically the idea of what King has set up for the next 49 issues is that this is supposed to be a spiritual successor to Nightfall.
Somehow.
Here's the problem. It does make sense to a degree. Why would Bane go against Batman and Catwoman when the worst thing, I know it's stereotypical, but you know when a villain knows something alluding to a hero's secret identity. They wouldn't go against just one person. If they want to break someone both mentally and physically, they would go against a hero's entire plethora of people they cared about, whether it was family, loved ones, significant others, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This, it makes no goddamn sense.
Nope.
And not only that, but you saw the splash page, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, why is Gotham Girl there? And I'm sorry, but if they make her into a villain who was supposed to be a hero and a trainee under Batman's supervision, all the way back in Volume 1 of I Am Gotham, and now for all of a sudden, I was a secret agent, I was a villain all along. I was like,
oh, lol.
Don't do that.
Wow. That was
I can see King doing that, and that's gonna piss me off.
You wasted a whole.
Reason, it gets worse because not only Skeets, the robot AI for freaking Booster Gold, is part of this group for some reason.
Yes. Yeah.
And the one that made me go, what the F?
And even Flashpoint Batman is a part of that group.
His father from Flashpoint.
Yeah. Where's
the
Mark?
same mother effer that told his son at the end of the Button event 2 years ago to give up the mantle of being Batman and to be happy.
Yeah, just, the way you put that with even Flashpoint, for a dude from another time. Man, who else was in that shot? Kermit,
the Riddler.
Kermit the Frog. And all of a sudden, you see Elmo, Kermit. You see Patrick from SpongeBob.
And you know what?
Wait a minute.
As much as I love Rebirth, and I'm not the biggest fan of Batman, if there's one thing I hate that Tom King has done, Holly Robinson, the Catwoman, the person who became Catwoman after Selena Kyle had to, I think it was either fake her death or go under protective services. But she was her successor for a time being. King royally screwed her character up in Rebirth. By basically making Holly a mass murderer.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does completely, right? It's a shame because wrapping up, I think King is a good writer. He has proven he can do good. Like whether it's indie stuff, whether it's the other stuff he's done for both DC and Marvel, funny enough. You know what I mean? Like he's done great with books like Vision, like he's done great with freaking Mr. Miracle.
It's basically like the reason this is even harder that he's screwing up like this is because we know he actually has talent.
Like I remember back in the day when the New 52 was still going on, he was writing that book with his at this time partner freaking Tim Seeley on Grayson. That was a damn good book.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I am so shocked of how low the might have fallen. Like seriously, like this issue is like, and you know what? people are saying, "Oh, I'm hyped." I'm not hyped. After this, it's just like, you know what? For this book, I'm glad I didn't buy it because I can imagine seeing myself after reading the final pages ripping it up.
And it's not
and asking for a refund, even though it's ripped to shreds.
And the funny thing is, too, when you bring that up, Jeff, it's not only us who are just very disappointed. Even our friend Nightwing01, K1 Reviews, he's pretty disappointed as well.
I was going to say, because I know he's going to do a podcast himself for himself as well. I'm really, if it's not up yet, I really want to hear it.
Exactly, yeah. I saw him tweet about it, like, oh, wow.
Like I said, Jerry can attest to this, too. He's more of a Marvel nut, I'm more of a big DC nut. And I like Batman, but he's not my favorite character. To see what Tom King has done to the character, I cannot wait until he's off the book. And you know what? And Jerry can attest to this too, because not only you know this fellow writer, with his craft and quality, but there's a certain other book that he's been doing and kicking butt with since day one of Rebirth. I want to see be King's successor. I know damn well he would do a better job with the character.
Venditti
will be good too, but I would rather save him for freaking Detective Comics, to be honest, because I see him doing better with the family. I like
who?
Al Jordan, Green Lantern Corps. But for the main Batman book, Christopher Priest.
Oh, okay. Mr. Black Panther and Quantum and Woody's original creator.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum and Woody still going on, by the way.
Going strong too.
In Valiant, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like. And all of that, but I gotta say this: I appreciate that DC is doing the right thing and refunding anyone who bought this book, like the retailers I'm talking about, and made a big deal about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know who I'm angry at. The fact that DC did this once again for editorial or higher up issues, or if all the blame should be put on the writer himself, i.e. Tom King, thinking, "Oh, I'm a genius! I would have something that no one has done before." It's done 20 years ago.
This is why you need editors.
Yeah.
It's like...
You want to hear something crazy, guys? I like Brian Bendis. I think he's a damn good writer when he's given... He's like the same way with freaking... if he has an editor above him, he's a good writer. If he doesn't, he does bad things.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Brian Bendis did a great job with Superman, and I was the one who was more afraid of his work on Superman.
Right.
Bendis doing a better job with Superman than what Tom King just did should show how bad of a writer Tom King is for Batman. I mean, the thing that people were like, you remember, Jerry. You remember people losing their damn mind, thinking, "Oh God, what is Bendis going to do to freaking Superman?" Because of the past he's done in Marvel in regards to Ultimate Spider-Man, the fact he killed the majority of the Avengers.
Yep.
What he did with the X-Men. But yeah, it's just, I'm having those people that are hyped for the next 49 issues, but I'm not. I don't know about you guys, or the people in the chat who are curious about this, but for me, again, Batman's not my favorite character, but I'm done until the next new writer comes up.
Yeah, I feel you.
And it makes me want to go back and read Batman TMNT all over again, because that was actually more entertaining to read than what just happened.
Yep.
Well, there's a reason why, Kyle, because A, you know who the writer was, right?
Yeah.
It was James Tynion IV. That's the same guy who just wrapped up his run on Detective Comics, which a lot of people said, and I agree more so these days, that was the better Bat book out of the Rebirth brand for quite some time, and I actually do agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
That issue was good because
Popo
was good because.
Oh no, Jerry! It's the Fuzz.
No, wait, sorry. No, not the Popo. Fire truck.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was the ambulance because of the next topic we're bringing up. But to wrap this up, it's kind of funny that I like Grant Morrison, but it looks like Tom King's trying to be the next Grant Morrison. The problem is he can't be.
Right, exactly.
Right.
There's a reason, like, I can't. People still do this. They try to be the next something instead of just being themselves.
Because
Yeah,
I understand
that's
right to your
the prior, but you know how you one up a prior writer's run?
Our child wrote lol.
You just write a good damn story, and
right.
engage
You don't worry about trying to be like somebody else. Just
Yeah, exactly.
be yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you show that you're good at being yourself. Just keep do what you're good at. Don't try to ape other people.
Right.
But yeah, for those who just joined that, you know, too long direct read. This comic sucks. No, don't look forward to the next 49 issues, because if this comic was bad, I'm not looking forward to the remaining 49. Seriously.
We're going.
So,
that leads us into not the new 52, but the new 52, or the newer 52, basically.
well, you know what? I don't know about you, John. I don't know about you, Jerry.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to the new 52.
Well, what Star Child wrote, I agree with. That's basically what we're saying. Yep. Don't try to be, just be.
Yeah.
Do yourself.
Like the old sandwich in the book.
You do you. That rap song. You do you. I'ma do me.
But it's funny you say that, Kyle, because honestly, I would actually like to see the new 52 come back, because, and this is my biggest issue, and I think Jerry would agree this too. Like, we like both, and we're liking Rebirth a little bit more because there's just, you know, an actual vision, unlike New 52.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I think Jerry would agree this too, with how he and I have been reading comics for the longest in this group. We like to see, you know, actual risks and actual change in the big two, and that's what we saw more so in the new 52 than the fanboyish padding that we've been seeing in Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that fair to say, Jerry?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be putting words in your mouth. That's all I'm asking.
Oh yeah.
Because again, I like Rebirth, and Jerry, you would say that from what you read from the Rebirth era has been great too, right?
Well, yeah, especially, you know who's my favorite right now?
What?
Flash.
Because he got a good runner with Joshua Williamson, you know what I mean? He knows the character. Why do you think freaking Green Lantern Corps and Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps was a damn good book? Because he had a great writer like Robert Venditti continuing to write the character.
Speaking of Venditti, if you guys don't know, he is also a writer for Exo Manowar, like most of its arcs.
Not only that, but not only did he write the new 52 version of Green Lantern after Jeff Johns' leave, but he also did double time by writing The Flash for the new 52. And I gotta tell you, that run was the most underrated run from the new 52 era. And he's currently writing a new solo for of all the DC characters, Hawkman. And it's been good so far. So yeah, look forward to those. I would recommend those books, but
right now, the other current, I don't know who's doing it now, but like the second best run of the Exo Manowar I read, it's actually, which was what started last year. No, this year.
Last year.
I think it started last year, and that's the current,
like spring/summerish.
Yeah, the current writer for Exo Manowar, and it's awesome. It's about him on another. It's like the best parts of Hook Hand Aquaman and the best parts of
Oh, so he's a fan of Paul Peter David, huh?
So who else? I'm trying to think. What comic was it where he like leaves and he's on he's by himself. Anyways, Manowar combines the best of Hook Hand Aquaman and that other comic I can't think of, and it's done by Matt Kint now.
Oh, him! I know who Matt Kint is. Yeah, I was actually first introduced to him through that maxi run that was done for Marvel Knights Spider-Man a couple years ago.
Matt Kint also wrote the recent and equally awesome run of Ninja.
Yeah, he did Ninja. That's right.
It's funny, like all these writers I know more from their Valiant comics than their Marvel.
Jerry. And it's sad but true. These indie arms, when we're talking about Valiant, when we're talking about And I think it's distasteful that we still call them an indie when we should really call them
they're the third
biggest one, because it's really the big three, not the big
yeah, it's really the big three, exactly.
Image.
Yeah.
But people like IDW, like Boom Studios, they have good writers, good editors, and good, people behind the scenes, because they want to change comics for the better. Where, let's be blunt, Marvel and DC just wants to stick to the same crap that's been selling for the last 75 years.
I mean, same thing with Rick Remender. I first heard of him through an indie comic instead of his work on Marvel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to hear something interesting? One of the most prolific writers for both Marvel and DC in the last couple of years, Ed Brubaker.
Yep.
A guy who did amazing work on Daredevil a decade ago.
Oh yeah.
My first introduction to him was playing up two Batman books. One when he did the Catwoman solo with freaking the now passed away Darwin Cook.
Oh yep.
And Gotham Central. You know the Batman procedural book that.
Well, yes, I know, because that's basically what Gotham, the TV show, is.
And I don't care what people say. I'm not the biggest fan of Batman. That's a damn good show.
Yeah. It's because, I mean, it's called Gotham, and it's like, yeah, it's basically Gotham Central. Might as well.
Yeah.
And why is the Gotham Central book? That's the only live-action series that has done Bruce Wayne proper justice.
Right.
Think about that. But yeah, it's just like that's the sad thing about comics these days in regards to both Marvel and DC. It's like, I hate when fanboys say, "Oh, Marvel drills, DC rules." It's like, you realize both of them suck because they don't take chances or risks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, I just remembered something. You said you were wrapping up. So.
Yes. But overall, don't even pick this issue up. And if you're interested, I'm not gonna say how, but just find a way to read them for free. Because I feel like if this issue's bad, then the next 29 are gonna be even worse. And I don't like feeling that way, to be honest. But yeah, what's the next topic, Kyle?
The next topic is about Retro Studios in its current state right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Retro Studios, they are the developers who work under Nintendo. They are one of the only couple of first-party developers in the Western side of the first-party publisher Nintendo, and they are the people who are responsible for the original Metroid Prime trilogy, as well as Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, as well as helping Nintendo with some development on Mario Kart 7 for the Nintendo 3DS when that came out all those years ago. Now, this news about Retro Studio, there have been some reports that's been coming up, basically pretty much from the website Glassdoor. Now, for those of you who have not heard about Glassdoor, it's basically the equivalent of Yelp, which is either it's an internet publication or it's like a smartphone app or a smart device app or something where employees, either current or former, for companies can actually leave reviews of those said companies, and they can either recommend them or tell people to stay away, based on their own experiences. And about either a week or this past week or so, there was a couple of reviews that were made on Glassdoor.com talking about Retro Studios and where they're currently standing, and their outlook on the famous Texas developer for the Nintendo company is not a pretty good one. And I'll read a couple of the reviews that they talked about. And this one of the most recent reviews that's been brought up was actually May 14th of 2018, so just about a couple months ago. And just so you know, this was made back in, this latest review was made back in May, but nobody noticed it until just recently. And
wow.
Yeah, so I'm really surprised why nobody, if they looked around, that they didn't even report on this yet, so it must have been that well hidden or under wraps. But basically, this is the review they said about Retro Studios. The spark left this place a long time ago. That's basically the headline of the review, or basically the short review in general. And this this employee is a former employee, and he decides to remain anonymous, and he didn't really give he or she didn't really give their name or anything like that. But anyways, they gave the developer a 1 star out of 5 in terms of the review, and they said that they don't recommend working at the place. They give a negative outlook, and they disapprove of the CEO or the management at the developer at this time. And this person used to work at Retro Studios full time. And of course, when they do the reviews, they do have pros and cons. And basically, this person said that the only pros at the company were they got free games sometimes, and the paycheck was steady. So that's all. I mean, that's all good if you're just trying to do your job. But the con,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
yes, but when it comes to the negatives of what this person said about the company, they said that it doesn't really seem like. When I take a look at it, it kind of doesn't seem like it's a criticism, but it might as well be. But this is what they said. Half of the team is expecting Nintendo to shut it down, and the other half is hoping Nintendo sees the elephant in the room and changes management. And the advice to management, just move to Vegas and get it over with. So that's basically... What?
I'm like, okay, like, why would you say just go to Vegas and just do it?
Yeah, that I really don't understand. But
I'm going to assume that that's what they want to do, is move their partners there.
But still, it's just like, what? That's like the most random thing you would hear from
yeah.
If you don't know the context, that's
yeah,
why
that's what I'm saying. Like for us,
which we don't. I don't either, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that they want to move to Vegas, and and what happened? You know what happens when you move? Like, oh, everybody's fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now there was another review that was made about a month before the one I told you about, and it's from a current employee and who also choose to remain anonymous. Now this is like I said, this is from a current employee, and his one-word review of the company is "quote unquote" stuck. I guess basically they're stuck with their old ways. I guess that's what he or she is talking about, and
Right.
This person gave them 2 stars out of 5 in terms of whether or not if they're a good studio, and of course it gave the same 3 bulleted points. They said that they don't recommend the studio. They're giving them a negative outlook, and they disapprove of the CEO. Now, in case you guys don't know, the current CEO of Retro Studios is Michael Kelbog. If you don't know who he is, he had a hand in the original Donkey Kong Country trilogy in some way when he used to work at Nintendo of America, and then he moved to Texas to become one of the head CEOs of Retro Studios, and that's how he managed to bring to Nintendo up with, or one of the reasons why he decided to work on another Donkey Kong Country game after nearly 14 long years of there not being another Donkey Kong Country game after Donkey Kong Country 3 back on the Super Nintendo in 1996. So that's basically how he brought about both Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. But that's the CEO that they're talking about right now. I mean, there's others that are amongst the within the company too, but that's basically, I guess, who they're pinpointing at right now, if I had to surmise a guess. Now, this employee says that he or she has been working at Retro Studios for full time for more than 5 years, and of course they said for the pros there was 2 of them. Says you get to be a part of the Nintendo family, and you get a consistent paycheck, which I guess it pretty much is in line with what the former employee said, so it pretty much mirrors that.
Yeah.
And for the cons, they said, this person said, upper management is seemingly unwilling to seek out help in areas where they are ill-equipped. And this is a really big point, too, that says in the reviews. It says in the review in terms of the con, it says, the Peter principle is apparent throughout most departments. And in case you guys don't know, the Peter principle, that's a term for people who are underskilled, who work like at a low-level position, who are all of a sudden brought about to like a higher tier position like CEO, and they don't know how to run a company. Yeah, so that's basically where the idea is coming from with when they say the Peter principle in in the con. And of course, another con is unpaid overtime, and as well as little to no empowerment. And advice to management: radically increase transparency, add systems to enforce accountability of upper management, and ask for help to be open to constructive criticism. Now, we'll talk about some of the other reviews here very shortly, but those are basically the two reviews that stuck out with most people who wrote about this piece about Retro Studios in the current predicament with where they're at right now. I mean, a lot of people were hoping that Retro Studios would have shown something in terms of what their next game was going to be at this year's E3, but of course they were a no-show, and we know that they worked on the Nintendo Switch port of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and a lot of people were like, really? That better not be the only game that they're working on, because after Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, or before it was completed, there was news that came about that Retro Studios was already hard at work on another game, which we thought was coming to the Wii U, but when the Nintendo Switch came to be, it seemed like they moved that project onto the Switch. But now we haven't even heard anything from them for 5 years, and that's kind of very concerning to a lot of us, and a lot of Nintendo fans, and just gamers in general. So, let's start off with one at a time. What do you guys think about these current reviews? Based on the two ones that I just mentioned before I talk about some of the more recent ones, because there have been some more recent ones that came up after these were brought about. But let's just go ahead and talk about these two in particular.
Right. On my end, I believe there's some. I think these are 100% true, because the sad thing about Glassdoor, just like any other algorithm review group, it's a mixture of both actual and falsified reviews.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, unfortunately.
I believe in 100% because of how long their games took to develop. Whether we're talking about the Wii-bound Metroid Prime 3, or we're talking about the original 2 that came off the GameCube. We're talking about, most of the stuff that they made for the Wii U, which was just one game file properly, which was Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, right?
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, that was their last game they made for the Wii. And then,
the only game they made for the Wii U, right?
And then they made Tropical Freeze for the Wii U, yes.
Yeah, but that was the only game they made for the Wii U, and Returns was for the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm getting at is that when you look at the longevity of products, some people say that, we know it's going to be a good game because they take their time. There's a difference between taking time and taking a hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the length of time that they take. Is around the time frame of a group or a studio or a person taking a long-deserved hiatus. And I think there's some truth to this, because I hate to break it to you, the upcoming Metro. Why isn't Retro developing it? I mean, we don't know who the developer is, but Nintendo clearly stated that's a new in-house developer. Around the time last year, the E3 was revealed. But of all the developers, why isn't it Retro? I mean, they're the one that, just like with Donkey Kong these days, are synonymous with the Metroid Prime, the Metroid IP, specifically the Metroid Prime series.
Right.
So there is something really, really sneaky going on. And also, I know it might have something to do with Nintendo, because this is usually their Switch, but unintended. But with the recent Switch port of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, why would it's a 4-year-old game now, right? Tropical Freeze?
4-year-old, yeah.
Okay. Why would a 4-year-old game not only still be going for $60 for a new platform, but more importantly, have something so simplistic of adding just the new character that no one asked for?
I got ideas now that you brought up.
I would like to hear.
Okay, so first off, like you, Jeff, I do, like you said, even though it's like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, where it's an aggregate,
Mm-hmm.
and some people can be crazy. Everybody seems to corroborate what everybody else is saying.
Mm-hmm.
But two, I just thought of an idea.
What?
I don't think they're just closing them, like just to close them. I think what they want to do is move them to Vegas, fire everybody there, so it's still Retro Studios, kind of, but it's not really. and just merge it with another company that is in-house.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's their plan.
You know, I think you're completely on the money, dude. I really do.
I think they're trying. That's why there's so much crap in this. Talking about Vegas, they're trying to merge them with another company.
Yep.
That's in-house.
And you know what? The sad thing is, before we continue, this is a long time coming on Nintendo's fault, because I find it funny where people say that Nintendo's a great company. In most respects, they are behind the scenes.
Right.
The one thing that I've always compared them, funny enough, that of Square Enix, while they do a great job to a degree with their Japanese studios, their Western acquired studios, they are atrocious with micromanaging.
It's just like Bandai Namco.
And that too, thank you. I didn't get that. It goes under that same question too. Thank you, Jim. But yeah, I feel like Nintendo, because in all due respect to Lee Iwata, he was a great president, but he could have been the one. Like, I wish Iwata was more like, people like, Shuhei Yoshida or Phil Spencer, where, yeah, they're gamers, but they know how to do business.
Yep.
And I feel like that was I really feel like that was the Achilles heel of Iwata. Like, the guy was smart. Let's not take that away from him. We'll never take that away from him. He was a smart guy. He knew to a degree, what Nintendo's core fan base wanted. But if there's one thing that he did not have, and I wish he did, brushed upon on, especially when he became president of the entire corporation after Yamauchi retired, he should really have brushed up on how to manage, not only Japanese studios that they own, but outsourced studios that they own abroad, like here in the U.S. with Retro. You know what I mean? Or even acquiring new studios, because is Retro the only studio that they have that's United States based?
Well, they have Nintendo Software Technology, but they're only working on mobile games for them.
That's what I'm bringing up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you're talking about a company that still makes games for, dedicated video game platforms, then yeah, they're the only one.
That's ridiculous, especially the money that Nintendo has, and they have a war chest.
Mm-hmm.
Going all the way back to the N64, the Super NES days. Why haven't they decided to start acquiring developers?
I think that's it. Yeah.
And that just pretty much goes hand in hand with what Howard Lincoln was trying to get them to do during his time when he worked at Nintendo of America before he retired, because he knew that there was only so much that Nintendo could do only by themselves, and they needed to get more developers, not only from within their own territory, but from overseas as well, so that way they can bring about a plethora of content in all forms of entertainment, instead of just being stuck with what they had, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now, if this turns out to be true, then that basically, it's pulling like a Nintendo not acquiring Rare situation all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing we have to keep in mind too, that the work environment between Japan and overseas is vastly different. I mean, when you take a look at people in Japan, they're more than willing to, basically live at their job just to get their jobs done. And they basically
because of a different mindset due to culture, of course.
Mm-hmm. And that's how they mostly get their games done much faster than Western developers, because Western developers, they like to work that time frame where they go in and then they finally get off work and then they go home. They don't stay at work just to get all the time just to get their work done. But it's just, if this is how Nintendo is really envisioning Retro Studios now, it's just, and if this does turn out to be true, then that's going to be very detrimental on their part.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they can't survive on just their IPs alone. They have to have all forms of entertainment. They have to have a number of developers under their belt, so that way they can actually get more get more IPs as well, instead of just their own, because obviously that bubble's going to burst at some point if they continue with that mindset. That.
I mean, Kyle, you're not wrong. I mean, we're kind of seeing it right now.
Because if you take a look at Microsoft, back at E3, take a look at all those development studios they acquired, because Phil Spencer knew that there was only so much that they could do in terms of first-party content, so he went out of his way to go get, people like Ninja Theory, of all people. and that's saying a lot right there.
And that's what I'm trying to bring up, because it's like it is an industry like a AAA industry issue. Because like look at Sony. Sean Layden just confirmed that we really don't care about a first party because all of our business comes from third party. It's just like you need a balance between first and third party to thrive and survive, especially in the AAA space. And more importantly, as one of the manufacturers. What the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's just like that's the problem. Like, I find it funny that Sony and Nintendo have the same problems because I think they share the same mindset. Going all the way back to when they almost became partners due to the
Nintendo PlayStation, basically.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying this as a negative because I think the PlayStation division is good. I think the higher-ups over Sony are the main issue, just to clarify.
Yeah, the Sony division, not the PlayStation division, because...
Exactly. I want to clarify that by just saying that.
Yeah.
It's a problem it's more of a worldwide industry problem than just say, like, oh, it's a specific problem, because, like, you're right. Like, cultural differences are the reasons why, but sometimes Japanese culture ain't great for the individual itself because, I mean, have you seen how askew their own culture could be on the workspace for their individual workers and how much, let's not forget, of how much harsh working conditions they have? Japan is one of the biggest countries in regards to suicide rates.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're not shy away, but that shows a lot of how... I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but I feel like we can have more respect, even though we don't in regards to working conditions, than Japan does. And I think that needs to change. Like, again, like the philosophy and ideology of Japanese culture, not the entirety is bad, but I feel like there's some stuff and some merit that needs change, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, of course. And, you know, and it's just another one of those things, too. When it comes to Nintendo and with partnerships, it's like, yeah, it's nice that you're doing partnerships with a lot of these, you know, first party, second party, and third party developers, but it's like, where's the love to get them a part of your family?
See, that I don't agree too, because that's the biggest issue with Nintendo. Because like, they really need to
They need to broaden their horizons, basically.
Sony has the same issue too. Like, not only is with UK developers, but also developers from their own homeland. Because when you look at the first party output, it's mostly Western. Sony's having the same issue on their end too with Japanese first party support.
Yeah.
As well as Nintendo.
Of
not
course.
only first party for Japan, but also like we're just talking about Western, and they have that money. We just saw Microsoft. They're in the same gain of wealth as Microsoft. They can just bring out that checkbook. It's like, okay, how much? It doesn't matter how much. But yeah, like going back to the main topic of retro, I'm not surprised again because, again, with their fanboys saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter how long." In a business like the video industry, specifically the AAA industry, it does matter how long it takes for you to develop even a single piece of software.
But let's be blunt here. Is Retro Studios really considered a AAA company?
The way now with us, no, but the way that Nintendo has marketed it, yes.
So no.
That's what I'm saying. Like with consumers, like people who are formed, like ourselves in this group, and the people who are joining us, we know they're not. They're, like we would argue that they're mostly a AA standard industry developer, right?
Right.
The problem is, and I do blame this solely on Nintendo of America's marketing. Ever since the GameCube and Wii, they've always established them as one of these big AAA developers that they own and say, "Oh, look at us, we have retro. Look at the next game that we're making with the Metroid Prime trilogy. Oh, look what they're doing with Gundam." It's false marketing because it's not the proper marketing that a developer like Retro should get from Nintendo. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not trying to downplay them. I'm not trying to besmirch them because they are a talented developer. But I don't think they are a talented AAA developer. Again, they're a talented AA developer, but that's the problem with Nintendo. They marketed them as a talented AAA developer when they're not.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And watch the fanboys from Nintendo come out. Gary, it's the truth.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, now let's go ahead and let's talk about some of the other reviews really quickly. Now let's take a look at the more positive ones. But there was one more negative one that I wanted to bring up before talking about a couple of the positive ones, if that's okay with you guys. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now, this was made on July 2nd of 2018, and it's a former intern who used to be a designer in Austin, Texas for Retro Studios, and basically the summary of his or her review says, Retro lost its glory, he or she doesn't recommend the place, has a negative outlook, but has no opinion of the CEO, and worked as an intern for Retro Studios for more than 3 years. Now, here are the pros. Long-time studio and owned by Nintendo, but here's the con of what he or she had to say. They are all but shutting down. The management doesn't know crap about gaming other than the CEO, and they are ordered by Nintendo that if by 2019 they don't begin putting loot boxes and microtransactions, they're going to shut them down. And that I cannot even fathom if that's true, which I don't think it is.
I can, because remember when Reggie just recently was talking about of them thinking about putting loot boxes and microtransactions?
Oh, God.
That was just recently, a month ago. They're maybe sure to that.
But anyway, to read off the rest of that, the hero here is the CEO, who fruitlessly tries to convince Ninty otherwise. And yes, this is not Easy or Konami, but Nintendo. And advice to management, please stop your shady crap. So I'm not sure if the management is talking about like Nintendo management or Retro Studios management. I'm not even sure.
It could be a mixture of both, sadly.
Yeah, it could be, but still, I mean, that's kind of scary when you think about it.
Well, it's scary, but this is the way that the industry's going. I mean, why do you think I'm sticking with PC these days? Like, yeah, it happens with PC games, but this is the only thing that's making console gaming, lucrative. We're talking about Sony, Microsoft, and eventually Nintendo. You know what I mean?
It's just so sad with how gaming was an entertainment. I mean, was an industry where they made the games full and they didn't even try to charge you when you're playing the games in game with all the stuff that they had in game. But now it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, well, I hate to say that. That usually happens when something like gaming or any other medium becomes mainstream. You just see it as another,
Mm-hmm.
Wait. So are you for it?
What?
No, I'm not for loot boxes.
Okay.
I'm not for these changes within the gaming industry.
No,
it's a step backwards.
I think Kyle was not believing it at first because he couldn't see Nintendo doing it until I brought up the fact of what Reggie said at this year's E3 after their briefing, where they said that they were looking into loot boxes and microtransactions to, better be accommodated for the consumer.
But
so
anyway,
I do read that review, Sally, but continue.
Anyway, and now let's get to a couple of the positives before we wrap this up. They said, the headline it says for this positive review, and this is from a former employee who was an animator at Austin, Texas for more than 3 years at Retros as well. This is the headline. Kellogg is dedicated to the company and to making standout games. There are some amazing people that work here, and he or she says that they recommend the place, they have a positive outlook, and approves of CEO, and this is the pros of the place. Great location if you love Austin. Competitive salary and benefits. Creative team is second to none. Allowed or perceived freedom to work through design issues and art solutions. Fun team that's very collaborative. Now here are the cons. Some questionable project management. Sometimes communication comes to a grinding halt and deadlines can become either unreasonable, really fluid, or completely change for the most bizarre reasons. In-house engine can be a challenge to work with. And advice to management. Start a blog for the concept art team to post their in-house personal stuff. Be more communicative with overarching goals for the company and where you want to be with your games. So that's the positive issue right there. So more of a constructive type of review, if you ask me, if when compared to the others.
Yeah.
Now let's take a look at one of the other reviews that was just made as of recent too, and these were both on July 3rd, by the way. And this is a former freelancer who was an anonymous freelancer for Retro Studios, and it says, a great studio with great ambitions, which they recommend and approves of the CEO. And the pros are a team with great love for what they do, growing at a really impressive pace. And this third one really interesting, but this is what they said. Planning to buy part of Microsoft Studios as a way to increase their quality and production rhythm? What?
Huh?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Can you rephrase that again, Kyle?
Yeah,
It says that part of this pro says planning to buy part of Microsoft Studios as a way to increase their quality and production rhythm.
What?
Okay.
I'm not sure if that.
I don't know if that's a suggestion or if he's really thinking they'll do that.
I don't think Nintendo would do that. You know, I think
exactly.
I think Microsoft's trying to buy Retro.
Probably.
That sounds more realistic.
It does.
Ouch. But then again, it probably would be for the better. You know, I would if they had to go somewhere else that's more competent, then I would say I trust Microsoft more. But anyways,
no, because before you tell me, maybe it won't be because probably be the better deal for Microsoft acquiring the actual original team of Metroid Prime, that being Armature.
yeah, I would say they would have to go for Armature. It would actually make more sense.
That'd be the better, more cheaper deal than.
Yeah, the better bet, basically.
The smoke just going behind the scenes over at Retro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But here are the cons. Slow development pace. It needs to change some of their policies. So, anyways, those are some of the reviews, and we pretty much gave our point about Retro. I mean, like I said, based on those reviews alone, there were a lot of others that popped in. I guess either to give a better outlook of the company or just to chime in because of the negativity that was unleashed upon the gaming community when this was all unveiled. But it's really kind of 50-50 at this point. But of course, with all these things, we don't know whether or not if they're truthful or if they are, but we'll update you once as we hear something new from both Nintendo and Retro Studios in the future. If this does turn out to be true or if it turns out to be false. But other than that, we really don't even know at this point. But I'd say it would just be best or much more wise just to wait and see what all develops from behind the scenes. And hopefully there is a light at the end of the tunnel because, like we said, if Retro Studios went under that, or if Nintendo just sold them or just made them go independent, then that would be very detrimental in terms of them trying to approach the Western crowd with like Western developers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now I know it was mostly us, myself, and you, Kyle. But Jerry, did you ever say your piece about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
No, I just want to make sure because it's supposed to be me and Kyle. That's all.
It was.
That's what I'm just asking, just to make sure. Dude.
Yeah, it was most of you guys. I'm just like, oh.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I did. In the beginning. And matter of fact, I thought we were already on our next thing, which I guess it'll be me, because Anime Expo had 2 announcements that got me excited, and Jeff too, actually.
Oh yeah.
First off, I'll talk about the one we know a little bit more about, and that's the Punch Ghosts are returning. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 5, Golden Wind, aka Vento Aureo, coming this fall. And at Anime Expo, they had a teaser, and it looks amazing. If you haven't seen the teaser, David Production is going all in with this. They really hope. That's probably why they took so long. It's like people are like, oh no, Part 5's never coming. It wasn't that it was never coming. They were probably working on Part 5 since Part 4 ended and really wanted to perfect it because it looks fantastic. And that's probably why we had to wait so long. They didn't want to just rush it out. Like serialized anime like Dragon Ball Super in the beginning.
Or like the most recent one, Darling in the Franxx. Which, by the way...
oh no, that's just bad.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Quick derailment. I found out the real reason why that show stinks. Studio Trigger really doesn't have any involvement besides storyboarding. You know who really does?
Who?
Studio A1.
Really? No wonder. Not even Trigger story. No wonder.
It's not even a real collaboration. It's just A1. Some involvement with Trigger. Yeah.
Studio A1. A1 Pictures. Oh lordy! So it looks great. Have you guys seen the trailer? It's in our Discord. If you had.
Yes, I have. It looks
like
amazing.
a few seconds.
I don't think I
Star
have.
Child, I know you've seen it. Well, you know what? Might as well watch it. I can talk about. I can hold. It's only a few seconds, so I'll be here. So, David production, kicking butt with this. Colors are amazing. They showed Spice Girl, and they showed Golden Experience, and they showed Giorno, and they showed Zipper Guy. I forgot his name. Lordy, I forgot his name.
Yep.
Zipper Guy who looks like a chick. This is where Hirohiko Araki went full on fabulous with his art style. This is where he went straight up fabulous.
He basically went Super Saiyan in his art style.
Super fabulous.
Super fabulous.
And if you don't get it, just look at the characters' looks.
Overall,
yeah. Even the male characters look.
Flamboyant.
A1 Pictures did Persona Trinity.
Oh, what?
Wait, which person did it do?
And they did Fairy Tail, the first. Huh.
Damn.
And they dropped the ball with frickin' Donnie and the Franks.
Yeah, they did.
It's probably somebody's pet project.
Probably. That's how it usually happens to anime.
It's probably somebody who's like really done his thing, and then people are like, "Oh, let me."
Now, what about the JoJo with the recent upcoming series? I'm not surprised because David's been doing this since day one with the reintroduction, right?
They've been doing. They don't just put everything. Now 1 and 2 came out lickety split, but part 3 actually took a while. First, it took a while to come out, and then it was split up, and we had to wait a while. We had to wait for like the first 26 episodes, and then again we had to wait a while, like almost a year, for the last 26 episodes. Because they're not bound to serial weekly crap.
Yeah,
they can take their time, and it's like, yeah, you gotta wait, but hey, I don't know if you saw it already, Double R, but that looks amazing, right? No,
yeah.
No, I thought you were taking the time to watch it.
Well, I'm not sure where is it located at.
Anime.
Oh, it's the anime. Then is it the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind anime?
Yeah.
Oh, the first teaser. Oh, okay. All right, I'm taking a look at it right now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, while you're doing that,
me and Jeff will just keep talking.
Yeah. Just to kill some time. Since we're going to be talking about another big surprise that was announced at Anime Expo yesterday. Season. Since JoJo, I don't know about overseas, but here, isn't it distributed by WB?
JoJo is. As a matter of fact, at the beginning or the end of the trailer, you actually see the big WB logo.
That's what I'm asking. Regarding film rights, would WB automatically get them?
For live action, I believe they are.
Yeah, because most of Viz Media's stuff is they actually have a distribution partnership with Warner Brothers. So yeah, it would make sense.
There's already announcement of a live action. That's another JoJo news.
That's the thing. That's like a Japanese movie.
They're making a part 4 live action movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I just watched it right now, and damn good, holy damn, that actually looks pretty good.
That's mostly that's usually I imagine that's gonna be the opener.
You know, just looking at it, are you sure that's not an American studio that actually made that opening? Because usually with Japanese openings, you would actually see like the credits and that kind of stuff, along with a J-pop song in between.
I think it was just like an early previs.
I know.
But I get what you're trying to do. Go on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh no, it says it's Clover. So, yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah, I just took a look at it now. It looks pretty impressive, visual-wise.
That's why it was taking forever. It wasn't that they weren't doing it; it's that they were taking their time.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows. It definitely shows. Oh no, Jeff! Their parent is just about Donnie and the Franks. Just to clear up something.
Yeah.
The company that you're talking about, their parent is A1 Pictures, but they're called Cloverworks, right?
Oh.
For Donnie and the Franks. And guess which? And now it makes a lot of sense. I was like, wait a minute. A1 Pictures is pretty good.
Yes.
But this company though, Cloverworks.
Oh god.
Guess which anime they did, and they're all crap. Not just Donnie and the Franks. Persona 5, the one nobody liked, the Persona 5 animation because it's crap, and the Ace Attorney animation that was also like limited. I remember nobody liking that one either.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. No wonder, Darling in the Franxx. It's crap.
Well, but I could say for the Ace Attorney anime that all the storylines were shortened and a lot of content was cut, so that's why it was.
Yeah, nobody liked it.
It's not crap, but it was sure as hell disappointing.
Disappointing, yes. Yeah. Although it did have a good voice cast for the Funimation dub.
Well, that's because of part. Well, that's due because of Funimation.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, Diamonds on. I mean, Bento Oreo. I guess that's all we could talk about. That's all we know. It's coming out this fall. Days of production. It looks beautiful. And hopefully, Sobro Ryu said something that he hopes would happen, and I agree with him.
What's that?
The manga, when it ended, it was an abrupt ending. It just kind of, and then later on, they had an epilogue chapter.
Oh, come on, really?
So he's hoping that with the anime that they fix that, and instead of having it adding that epilogue chapter to the ending instead of just ending it abruptly. And I agree with him. And finally, Jeff, this last piece of news also from Anime Expo.
It's the one that made mine and your night that night, right?
Remember G Savior?
Remember the movie that no one liked 20 years ago?
It had a cool Gundam, but that was it. Anyways, they're going for a live action Gundam again.
Yeah.
And this time, let's see who's doing it. Who's doing it this time? Legendary Pictures. And it's being made in Hollywood.
Yep.
The reason why you have to bring that up is G Savior, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. It wasn't a Hollywood production. It was a lower budget Canadian TV movie production. So you gotta when comparing them, you gotta know you're comparing apples.
Like that literally is comparing apples to right, yeah.
Legendary Pictures. They didn't decide which episode of the series was adapted, which part of the series. So we don't know if it's gonna be UC or if it's a. I'm assuming it's UC, just from the. What part of the UC we don't know. Is it gonna be me and Starchild's favorite? Probably not.
Most likely not, sadly.
We love it. 083 is our favorite.
But if this first movie does well, there's always a potential for it being a sequel.
My guess is it's gonna be like, not like G Savior that it sucks or anything, but like G Savior in that it's gonna be set way. It probably will override G Savior in terms of canon and be like, okay, this is set way in the future. Like, because I don't know if they want to really straight up adapt. If they are, I mean, obviously, which one should be adapted? Duh, the original.
The original, and I think that'd be best.
Yeah, it'd be the best start, basically.
The 1 Year War, which, knowing what we know about the 1 Year War, they can actually make it a lot. They can actually make this pretty cool because the 1 Year War, as we saw in the original Gundam, was only a slice of it, right? But we also had OFMS team. We also had Thunderbolt. We also have all these other side stories, Blue Destiny. All these side stories that happened also in the 1 Year War that can be put in the movie to give it a bigger scope.
Yeah, and Jerry, I think you agree with this too. Like with you and I being like big.
Oh, there's a teaser.
Big Gundam fans.
Yeah.
I think you would agree too that it sucks that it's going to be most likely an adaptation of Mobile Suit the original, but people tend to forget that this movie's not really mainly being made for us, the diehard fans.
No,
it is made for us, but it's being made for more.
Which is why it's important, if anything, to adapt the original. Then
basically they're going for that same approach with what made Edge of Tomorrow a success, basically.
Yes.
Which I actually thought Edge of Tomorrow was actually a damn good film.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, if they adapt the original, that'd be great, because then they could do 083 as a sequel. Because that would make sense, because, Zeta Gundam is the next big Gundam series, but 083 is the bridge.
But Jerry, here's even better. if this does become a future, if this does have the potential to become a future successful live action franchise, and they want to expand to TV, you know what they could do as a mini series for made for TV? Live adaptation of War in the Pocket.
Oof. Oof. You know, me and Wheels had a whole episode tearing that one apart, right?
Right, but you know I'm not wrong. Like, there's potential, like, for like other adaptations in the universe. You know what I mean?
Had to bring up the one that me and Wheels love tearing apart. Instead of it's 083, it's a bridge. I mean, War in the Pocket is still during the 1 Year War, but mind you, that could just be in the regular movie.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, that's right. That is right. Yeah.
Bernie burgers.
But Gundam, I was really excited to hear this and really happy that it's finally being made because, Jared, you know how many years we've heard all this might be made for unconfirmed reports and potential that it might be made. This is going on for how many, 16, 17 years after G Savior?
Wow, when did G Savior air?
I think it was 2000. So 19 years.
Yep, 2000. Yep.
But yeah, ever since then, we've been hearing rumors oh, there might be a Hollywood movie in the near future. Oh, it was canceled. It's going back and forth. It's just to see it finally be announced. And I'm really glad they got a great studio with Legendary because say we will about friggin', and rightfully so, about the train wreck that was Pacific Rim 2. They still have a good track record with not only the first one, but also with Godzilla 2014.
Uh-huh.
I have more faith they can do a better job than say what Platinum Dunes did with Transformers and TMNT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh god.
Although we do agree that the one anime property that would be best fit for Michael Bay would be Robotech.
No.
Oh, I just remember something. Yeah, what made me happy about Gundam. Watching the teaser really, it's just them announcing.
Yeah.
The fact that the original creators and Sunrise are actually going to be working closely.
That's why I think it's going to work.
Good.
Yeah, that gives me hope.
That's why it's going to work because people tend to forget that when you actually have whoever's involved in an IP, that usually works best because you know how to pick their brain on what to do and what not to do. Kind of like why movies of anime, where anime movies, I think we can all agree these days, have been tried to do better in regards to respect with the franchises, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just watched something about Dragon Ball Evolution. This is why the Gundam movie has an edge over it because they didn't listen to anything Toriyama said. They didn't care.
That's true.
Yeah.
Toriyama has said this publicly after the movie came out that he hates the movie and that they didn't listen to him. They didn't care. They just did what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they just put the movie out, whatever. Let's turn Peter Parker into Goku.
But I will say this in regards to Dragon Ball. I hope that does not detract him from trying again in the near future. You know what I mean? Because I do think Dragon Ball can work as a live action franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Again, I don't think Dragon Ball Evolution is the worst thing to come out in anime because there's a hell of a lot worse movies.
But
even stuff too.
But not listening to advice from Akira Toriyama, the original creator,
that's
not a good sign.
No.
Yep. That's what they're saying. So that's what makes me happy about the Gundam movie. They're actually having Sunrise people there, they're directly involved. So you don't got to worry about that. This is going to have this. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be great. We have no idea, but it's going to have.
It has potential.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's whether it's going to be. Let's hope. Let's hope.
And from the way that they talked when there was announced last night, it sounds like they're going to be trying to take their time with doing it right, which I think is best. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really hyped for it. Now, let's just hope they get a good. No. Again, if there's two movies I want to see happen, I just got one, and the other one I want is still possibly happening, which is Robotech. None of them I don't want any involvement with Michael Bay.
Oh, okay. So pretty much changed your mind on that already, huh?
What?
Oh,
I said no.
I thought we had this
Oh.
conversation before. You know, if Michael Bay were to direct another property, I thought you said that you would be fine with him doing one on Robotech.
I don't remember saying yes.
Okay, never mind then.
No, I'm saying I really don't. So this is okay. But yeah,
Never mind. I thought I remember you telling me that before.
I really don't remember that.
Maybe you're like a certain other friend of ours who's no longer a friend. Swearing that I had porn.
Former
Yeah,
Okay.
he could have sworn I had porn in my parents' bed. I'm like, why would I?
What?
What? He even kept asking me, lift up the bed. Let's see. I'm like, I don't lift. Go ahead, lift it. You guys can see.
Yeah, that's what basically happened. Miscommunication. That's what basically happened.
No, it's real.
Oh,
yes,
God.
that. Yes, him.
And for those who wondered, yes, we're still trying to find the clip, so please make patience.
I guess that's all we gotta say about like we don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but there's hope for this one. So don't write it off just yet.
I think it's I think we know it's gonna be good because it ain't G Savior. Because unlike G Savior, it actually has good quality behind it with the people already attached.
Who knows?
Savior, if I recall, Savior didn't even have.
I mean, they said the same thing about G Reco, and that was Tomino himself, and that didn't turn out good.
But in regards to G Savior's production, did it have any involvement directly with Sunrise or no?
It did, but
Oh, it did.
yeah, it did, but I don't remember if they were like here where they're actually listening to them.
Okay. So it could be like anything from what happened with the aforementioned Dragon Ball Evolution. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Where Toriyama was there, but they literally just said, "Hey, what do you know? He only wrote one of the most popular anime worldwide ever. Like,
You know, the thing that you're adapting.
there's a reason why you're adapting this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, so G Savior was broadcast in Japan.
Really?
Wow.
Damn.
I wonder what
But
the-
yeah, it was let's see here, production. It was released in 2000 along with Turn A, where the Gundam is, right? G. And yeah. So let's like I almost want to watch it like, just to be like, ha, it's where we came from.
Well, not that, but I'm really glad that Gundam's being finally made into a live action because, you know, and I'm not sounding too preachy. I'm not trying to sound too preachy, but it's true that most of our movies like to glorify war. It's nice to see that we're finally going to get a big budget live action movie that is the opposite. Because the one thing I always love about Gundam, it's anti-war message where, see guys, war's bad.
That's why I hope they do the original 1 year, which they should obviously if that's where it started.
It's be relevant too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
War has changed.
Ron Perlman comes in war. War never changes. War has changed. War never changes.
So says Bethesda.
Snake and Fall and Ron Perlman should fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Snake and Ron Perlman should fight Todd Howard over that. And they would win.
What do you mean it's just Stephen works Todd Howard?
Or Todd Coward, rather.
Well, to be fair, we cannot be calling him coward anymore. He said the right thing about Sony, right?
Well,
Let's do crossplay, but it's Sony's fault. Playing them.
you could still be a coward.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so we talked about everything we wanted to, and it's 6:30, and
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I guess we should plug away and wrap up. So Jeff, actually no, Double R, what you plug first?
Okay.
You got most.
Alright. So, you can follow me on twitch.tv/RPG Reviews. I've been taking a break from doing live streams for quite a while because I've been back on work on my Final Fantasy retrospective, which that's actually been coming along pretty smoothly now after the months of May and June. I'm still working on Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and almost done with it, believe it or not. So after that, I go into Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. So that's going to be a lot of fun to cover. So yes, as long as there are no more hiccups, the progression on that episode should still go along smoothly. But who knows when that will come up, like I said. But I am trying to aim for it this year. Just be sure to follow me. And speaking of that, where you can find my retrospectives, you can find them on my YouTube page, which is at youtube.com/RPGreviews. On top of retrospectives, I also do reviews, 2 cents videos in terms of the side quest videos, or what they're called, as well as posting any past archives of my live streams from Twitch onto my YouTube. So, whenever I'll come back to streaming, you can definitely be sure that I will archive from what I stream on Twitch onto my YouTube channel, so that way you can watch in case you missed out on that episode. Also, you can follow me on social media on Facebook.com. My Facebook fan page is facebook.com/RPGreviews, and follow me on Twitter, where my Twitter handle is at @RPGreviews. So whichever social media site that I'm posting on, you can guarantee that I will be posting on both of them at the same time, since they're connected to each other. So be on the lookout for more content coming from me in the future that you guys won't find anywhere else. And I had a lot of fun time today, and I'm looking forward to coming back for another one sometime in the future. But it was really fun. Alright, that's it for me.
Okay.
Jeff.
Yes, next Saturday we'll be back to our regular scheduled program here at TheGeekFighters with a continuation of DMC Devil May Cry. Same time at 5 p.m. EST. As well as this coming Tuesday, the continuation of that, as well over on my channel, twitch.tv/16bitjeff, as well for the continuation of Resident Evil on this coming Saturday at 7 on my end, or my channel, twitch.tv/Jeff. You can follow me on twitter.com/16bitjeff to keep up to date with what my schedule is going on, streaming and all that stuff, as well as the channel feed of when it's still, or how long it's still active on Twitch. So that's it on my end, basically.
Yeah, so next week we're going to be trying to go forward even more in DMC Devil May Cry to see about that Mundus for packing his fudge into Lilith, which was bad. And I know, we just got banned from Twitch again, right?
Oh, well, there's always caffeine, right?
Right. Anyway, now you, Mr. Leaderman, Fighter Chaos.
Okay, Fighter Chaos on Twitter. That's Fighter XAOS. On Twitter, on Facebook, same name. On Reddit, same name. I don't have a Reddit subreddit. I have my username. On Pixiv, it's actually no. I think it's whatever. On Twitter, Facebook, DeviantArt. Yeah, I'm on Fighter Chaos. Instagram, that's the big one. Fighter Chaos. And Tapas, go to tapas.io, TAS.io, and search for New Courage or Mixtape, and you'll find my webcomics. I help me make some money there. And you can also search on YouTube for Fighter Chaos, and you can find videos that I make whenever I do. And finally, Twitch, of course, right here on twitch.tv. Follow my Twitch and actually watch my Twitch and help me become an affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
Please. So that way,
yes.
So that way, not only will he become an affiliate, but he could also give some more promotion towards us. So that way, we can try to become affiliates too.
Exactly.
And that'll make us all happy.
It can help make all of us money, and especially me, because I can give you better content when I get better equipment.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's it. Let's go. I got it.
So, to plug off, Jerry, your best words.
Well, I got 2 words left to say. Dime. Cambio.
Peace out, everybody.
See you guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I saw that we spiked at 6 at one point.